So I want to talk a little bit more about how do we go about using SWOT. And one of the ways we can do this is we can turn it around and use what's called a TOES analysis. So going beyond that SWOT and having a tool that's based on SWOT that helps us build the strategic alternatives that we might use in terms of guiding our solution. So how does this work? We take the SWOT, the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, threats we've identified, and we start to look at how do we start can combine them together to develop some strategic methods or some strategic solutions. Those strategic solutions then can be used in order to build some of the alternatives. So when we start to look at these things, we combine our strengths and opportunities, look at them and start to ask questions like, what opportunities match up with our strengths, or what competitors would benefit from our current skill set, or what are we well placed to do today? We can do the same thing in terms of threats and weaknesses and what markets can we best compete. What types of resources can we use to overcome those weaknesses? How can we use our strengths to dodge the threat? So once we start asking questions, building these answers, we can start to build 4 different strategies. Those 4 different strategies may automatically turn into the alternatives for your solution, or you can start to tweak them, start to combine them together to develop a series of alternatives. So what does that actually look like? So we take our strategies, we start to look at them, we combine them together or we use them separately, lay them out, and these become the alternatives that we use in order to make our decision that we compare against those decision criteria that we've talked about in earlier videos. And then what we can do is we can develop something that looks similar to this, where we've got our strengths, our weaknesses, our opportunities, our threats. These are the same ones that we talked about in the SWOT video, and then start to look at those insights. How do we start to look at the different types of strategies we can have? So we can have strategic relationships where we build strategic relationships with the local NGOs to build more relationships with those artisans that we're looking for, or social media where we can grow our base by using the strong community presence, but using this new social media strategy that we were weak on before, or building ethical standards, producing ethical goods, and becoming that leading supplier of ethical goods, or improving the logistics just by building a relationship with a logistics provider and developing nations that can strengthen that supply chain. So these are 4 strategies that we can take and then look at them in terms of we may use them together, we may combine them together, we may tweak them a little bit, but to start to develop possible solutions to the overall problem. Or, you know what, we may have identified different types of problems, and here are some strategies and some alternatives that can be used in terms of our solution, and putting those forward in terms of either the solution or the alternatives that we have available to us.